Now that we stand together on common ground, I want to persuade you that the form or structure of each of our 5 example sentences almost inevitably produces conflict between people. Wait, what? How does saying bunnies are cute produce conflict between people? That's an excellent question. Before I answer, I want to draw your attention to a very important detail regarding the structure or form of our 5 example sentences. From the perspective of English grammar in the year 2022, all 5 of our example sentences exhibit the structure or are in the form of what is called subject, copula, predicate, or subject-predicate for short. We use the word subject to refer to the things that interest a speaker, for example, bunnies, bananas, roses, blankets, drums, etc. We use the word predicate to refer to what a speaker wants to say about a subject, for example, cute, delicious, fragrant, comfortable, loud, etc. In all 5 of our example sentences, each sentence had a unique subject and a unique predicate. Despite the variety of our subjects and predicates, a single generic copula is used to join each pair of words. This generic copula is the word are, A-R-E. The words copula and copular verb might be new to you. Nevertheless, I strongly suspect you are already familiar with several copulas, including is, are, was, am, to be, etc. The purpose, function, or behavior of a copula is to join together, link, bind, associate, relate, couple, or draw an equivalence between 2 words. For example, in our first example sentence, we are juxtaposing the word bunnies with the word cute, with the intention of suggesting, asserting, expressing, implying, etc., the idea that cuteness and bunnies somehow fit together. Thus, when I write, bunnies are cute, I am now asserting an equality between the word bunnies and the word cute. Because I am asserting an equality, I can also reasonably write bunnies equals cute. In our second example sentence, we are juxtaposing the word bananas with the word delicious, with the intention of suggesting, asserting, expressing, implying, etc., the idea that deliciousness and bananas somehow fit together. Thus, when I write, bananas are delicious, I am now asserting an equality between the word bananas and the word delicious. Because I am asserting an equality, I can also reasonably write bananas equals delicious. Similar remarks can be said about our remaining 3 example sentences. Now then, let's go back to the question of how saying bunnies are cute produces conflict between people. Our 5 example sentences produce conflict between people because it is easy to demonstrate that under certain conditions, each of our 5 example sentences can be made false. I say under certain conditions because in our 5 example sentences, no conditions are declared. Creating sentences wherein no conditions are declared is trivially easy. Indeed, all 5 of our example sentences lack context, lack conditions and constraints, lack a date, lack any reference to reference. When a person creates a sentence that, number 1, asserts something is true, number 2, declares no context, number 3, contains no constraints, then the implication of the sentence is one of allness. To illustrate what I mean by allness, let's consider our example sentence about bananas. When I said, "Bananas are delicious," I will forgive you if you assumed I meant all bananas are always delicious to all people at all times and in all possible situations. But what about all the people who don't like bananas? Further, even if you agree that bananas are delicious, do you always agree? Perhaps you would agree that a banana that looks like this is delicious. But what about this banana? Or this banana? Or this banana? Let's consider another example. In this example, let's assume we are only talking about clean, ripe, healthy bananas. What if, on a given day, you have already eaten 30 such bananas? Do you believe that your 31st banana will be as equally delicious as your first banana? I hope I have convinced you that the sentence, "Bananas are delicious," doesn't take into account the tremendous variety, nuance, and detail of an actual person's actual real-life experiences involving bananas. I trust you can see similar challenges arising with respect to our other 4 example sentences, all of which use the same grammatical structure, subject, copula, predicate. If you're not presently seeing the challenges, try these. When someone says, "Bunnies are cute," I can respond by saying, "Bunnies who have been run over by trucks with large wheels tend to look a lot less cute than a healthy 6-month-old bunny." When someone says, "Roses are fragrant," I can respond by saying, "I have a friend who sneezes at the mere sight of roses, including paper roses. He told me he doesn't care what they smell like, he wants them gone." When someone says, "Blankets are comfortable," I can respond by saying, "My grandmother had a blanket that I didn't like because it felt scratchy and abrasive against my skin. When I told her how uncomfortable it was for me, she got me a more comfortable blanket." When someone says, "Drums are loud," I can respond by saying, "Drums can be played loudly and quietly. My brother has a hearing deficit in his left ear. He can barely hear at all, so almost everything sounds quiet to him. He said it's great for sleeping." In the year 2022, our daily language habits are saturated with the subject-predicate form. Regardless of the topic being spoken about, all sentences of the subject-predicate form exhibit the same problems as our 5 example sentences, namely, that the subject-predicate form creates statements that are largely fictional. Arguments involving fictitious statements can never be settled to everyone's satisfaction because there are no referents for fictions, and therefore nothing upon which to employ human scientific behavior. If you want to speak factually, you must avoid the subject-copula-predicate structure in your language habits. If you want your children to grow up equipped to make a desirable living in an increasingly complex world, you must teach your children to speak, write, and think almost entirely in terms of relations.